Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. 0-0 against Bournemouth. I'm here with Charlie. Mate, one of the few games you've had the privilege of doing the vlog for us. Now I understand why Lewis didn't want to come. He had a bad feeling about it, but I do think it could have been a lot worse, and I think that there are positives to take. Are you in agreement with me, or do you think, like most fans, it's just not good enough, it needs to improve straight away?
It does need to improve, of course it does. We know that it's needed to improve over the last number of games. But when you bring in so many new players, I know we say it all the time, but it does take a bit of time for things to get to come clicking together and stuff. But at the same time, I don't think that's an excuse for not beating Nottingham Forest, for not coming to Bournemouth and winning. We created enough chances to probably score about 4 or 5 goals today, and it's the same old story. When we get the opportunities to score, we either shoot straight at the goalkeeper, or when we're in a shooting position, we try and pass it off. It's almost like we're scared to shoot. I don't know if it's in the players' contracts that they're not allowed to shoot at the goal. I don't know what it is, mate. But yeah, as soon as we get anyone in the goal, any decent positions to score, we don't shoot. And when we do when we do have a shot, we just put it straight at the goalkeeper. So, I don't blame the manager for this today. He made changes that people wanted him to make. Obviously there's some injuries. We've got Caicedo, obviously back from international break, couldn't feature. Madueke injured, obviously. We got the injuries. We know about the injuries, but he switched it up. He brought some players in. Mudryk started. Obviously Sterling, Jackson front three. Ugachuk, who actually I thought did very well today. I was impressed by him on his first start in the Premier League. Sanchez was man of the match in my opinion. Kept us in that game. A few great saves and general distribution was impressive as well. But as an overall performance, it was just massively frustrating. And I just feel like in training, I just don't think we practice the attacking phase, the attacking side of the game. It's clear that we don't, because we could still be playing. Mate, we could still be playing now. We wouldn't have scored. It's just one of those things that, for whatever reason, right now, it doesn't matter what combination of players we've got on the pitch. It doesn't matter who the chances fall to. We cannot put them in the back of the net, and that is a massive problem.
It's interesting you talk about that, because when we talk about the two wingers that started with Sterling and Mudryk, they're very unique players, aren't they? You look at a lot of wingers and you say, oh, okay, he could slot into this team, he could slot into this system. I feel like Sterling's a player you need to build the team around him. And I feel like Mudryk is actually a similar player. In a lot of ways, Mudryk doesn't even look like he's a part of the team a lot of the time. It looks like, there's 10 players and then there's Mudryk. He doesn't make the run that players around him want to make, and evidently when he gets the ball, he doesn't pick out those passes. I just don't know where it's going wrong. I know we've talked about game time, but he did have to start today. I'll be
honest, mate. I don't think he was that much worse than Sterling. Sterling played the whole game. I don't think he was that much worse than him. It wasn't like, oh my God, Sterling was miles better than him. Do you know what I mean? It's a confidence thing at the end of the day. Like it is for all these young players. It's a confidence thing. When your confidence is low and you're not playing that much, and then when you do play, a few things go wrong, and then if the crowd get on your back and stuff, that's difficult to deal with. Yes, as a footballer, you have to deal with that, but particularly as a young player, that's hard when you're trying to make things work and things aren't working. Yeah. I know as football fans, it's emotional, it's frustrating and whatnot, and it's hard not to express your frustrations and stuff, but I don't think it's helpful getting on players' backs the whole time.
Well, the thing is, it's the opposite for both. We get on Sterling's back because he starts every week and doesn't perform, and we get on Mudryk's back when he does 10 minutes and doesn't do well.
But this is my thing. Like when sections of the fan base criticise young players, it's like, well, what do you expect? The whole point of young players is they're not fully developed yet. They're going to be inconsistent. They're going to do some things good, some things shit. That's how it goes. Few games they'll be good, few games they'll be shit. That's what happens when you're learning the game, when you're still developing as a player. So why are we getting so fucked off about it? That's the route we've gone down. This is what's going to happen now. This is what we have to accept that is going to happen when you buy so many young players.
But this isn't Chelsea, Charlie.
No, but people... Well, what is Chelsea right now? It's not what it used to be. Why do we constantly go back to the fucking past? Oh, it wasn't like this 20 years ago. Oh, we did this with Roman. It's not fucking here anymore. It doesn't matter. It's a new Chelsea now. We either get behind it or fuck off and go and support someone else. You can criticise. Fair. I know I've been critical. Today wasn't great, as after other games. But if you're not going to get behind the team and support them properly, don't bother turning up. Why do people pay their money, turn up, travel all over the country, and then just fucking abuse the players from the stands? What is the point in that? It's a complete waste. It doesn't help anyone. You look like a fucking idiot doing it. It doesn't help the team. It doesn't help the morale. It doesn't help with the confidence. It creates a divide between the players and the fans. What is the point, and what are we achieving by doing that? Absolutely nothing.
It's interesting as well, because we always complain about people on Twitter and people on social media. They're the ones stirring this up, but that wasn't the case today.
No, but I'll be honest, mate. It's fucking idiots in the crowd today. It's like, I don't know if they're watching the same game as we're watching, but what I mean, look, Chilwell, come on. Like, okay, it wasn't great. Few loose passes, few loose touches. Wasn't amazing. What are we achieving by abusing him at the end of the game? What's that doing? Oh, we need to let him know that he wasn't very good. Do you not think he fucking knows that he wasn't good? Why do we need to tell him that? What are we doing to our own players here? Like, this is why. Do we really wonder why there's maybe a disconnect between players and fans? Maybe why players are scared to take things on because they know the fans are going to get on their back as soon as they do something wrong. Why are we doing that and creating that sort of environment? It's pathetic.
It's interesting because I've never looked at Chelsea fans, generally speaking, as a toxic fan base. I just haven't.
Oh, mate, toxic. It's so toxic, mate. I mean, look, it's match-going fans, it's online fans, if you want to call them that. Like, it seems like this day and age, there always has to be someone to blame. It can't be like, let's look at it, we're not where we want to be right now. It's always got to be someone's fault. It's this mindset that it's got to be so-and-so's fault, or so-and-so was shit, that's why we didn't win today. It's like the whole thing before the game was like, oh, Chilwell shouldn't be starting left wing, that's why we've not been winning games. We didn't start today, we didn't fucking win. Like, it's not like that. Why do we have to constantly have a scapegoat and all this sort of thing? But yeah, I mean, we'll never learn. We'll never learn. It's always been like this with the Chelsea fan base, whether it's sections of match-going fans, whether it's online fans, whatever it is. But look, at the end of the day today, mate, we created more than enough chances to win the game, but we can't put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't know what we do about that. That is a huge problem. Like, you can do all the shooting practice, score loads of goals in training. We see the footage go up on social media of the training with banging goals in. Well, where's that when we get on the pitch for the match today? There's so many chances to score. Gallagher, Cole Palmer, Sterling, Jackson. Like, there's so many chances. How can we just not put one of them away? It's baffling.
I don't understand why we can't take the positives from that. Because I look at that and I say, well, everyone was complaining about the performance against Nottingham Forest. This is much better.
Possibly, but do you know what the problem is, though, mate? It's because we're one win from the first 5 games. And this is going to be our quote-unquote easy run of fixtures, or easier fixtures. That's why it's so frustrating, and that's why it's kind of not acceptable per se. It's because already we are like 8-9 points behind the likes of your Brighton. So we keep dropping points at the rate we're dropping points at. Like, before the next international break, Champions League qualification, we might have to forget about it because we could be 10, 12 points off the qualification places already come the international break in October. So that's why it's so frustrating, because it's coupled with the fact that we're getting further away from the Champions League places already, and the fact we're only 1 win from the first 5 games. However you look at it, whatever excuses you want to make, whatever mitigating circumstances there might be, when you look at it in the light of day, 1 win from the first 5, given the teams that we've played, is not good enough for what we've done. And I understand it takes time to sort things out, but we've got to be doing something better than we're doing right now, because that 1 win in 5 is not good enough, whatever way you want to try and dress it up.
Well, obviously, we made changes today, but against Aston Villa, is there anything else that needs to change?
Well, I mean, look, we say we make changes. Like, we made changes, okay? We got a lineup that people were happy with on the whole, I think, But I worry about home games, because atmosphere's never that good at Stamford Bridge, if we're being totally honest. You've also got the fact that we're not particularly good at home. We struggle to break teams down that get behind the ball and frustrate us. And it could be another very frustrating afternoon. So I do worry going into that game that I don't see where the goals are coming from. And when you're not scoring goals, it's very hard to win any games of football.
That's it, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers.